Today, I'm going to be talking a bit about physical anxiety. Now, what am I doing in front of this mirror? Well, I couldn't think of a better way to demonstrate physical anxiety without me in it. Because I haven't got someone here holding the camera right now, I thought probably best to use a mirror. I'm not just trying to do this to pose in front of a mirror because that wouldn't really be very productive for my explanation. So, if you think of physical anxiety, you think of your brain, you think of your nervous system, it runs throughout your whole body, okay? If you've ever seen a picture of a nervous system on the wall, framed, you're talking something that is spread out into every little millimeter of the body, okay? So when you're experiencing physical anxiety, you're going to experience it through everything in your body. So I'm standing in front of this mirror to demonstrate to you all of the places that I experienced physical anxiety, how that affected me and how I feel today. So if I just start from the top of my head, I used to have really bad headaches that would all be around the sinuses, okay? So the sinus wasn't blocked, but it was just these tension headaches that used to be here. Now, when I was really scared of those coming on, specifically at night, what used to happen was I used to think to myself, oh my God, this is coming on, it's going to stop my productivity, it's going to stop so many things. I used to be scared of them coming on. And that actually made them worse. When I was actually distracted, often they didn't even feel like they were there. But in the evening ones did tend to be there very strongly. And even if I was distracted, it wouldn't make a difference. I then also had TMJ, tension in the jaw, tension in all the muscles here, bruxism, grinding teeth, gum inflammation, all caused by anxiety. Then in the nose, I used to feel like I had a blocked nose, like I had a cold 24/7 because of what anxiety was doing in all those areas. The eyes, red, dry eye when I used to wake up from problems with sleep and problems related to anxiety causing and inflaming the eyes, and constantly having bags around my eyes because I wasn't sleeping well, especially during the years of insomnia. I then had tension all through my neck that used to be here, locked on like it felt like steel. No amount of massage or physio could get rid of that muscular tension there. Then that all coming into here, into the sternum, used to feel inflamed. I think it's called costochondritis. I used to get that a lot. And then I used to get GERD, where the acid reflux would come up. I ended up getting esophagitis and being in hospital with that. And acid reflux was a big problem because of all the stimulation from anxiety in the stomach that was then causing so much acid reflux, which became a big problem. And that also became a problem with mouth health. So as I recovered, all of these things rebalanced themselves out. I rarely ever experience acid reflux unless I'm drinking like a lot of brandy, eating cheese, McDonald's, these kind of things. But I can adjust my diet so that those things don't occur. Then the other thing was, like if you see right now, I'm holding this phone. I would be so fatigued in the past with overall muscular and physical and just general fatigue, heavy fatigue, that I'd want to sit down in a chair all the time, lean back, lie on the couch, head rested on a pillow, because of how bad the anxiety was constantly taxing my nervous system. I'd have heart palpitations that felt like a machine gun, light pulse, hard pulse, all going off and on all the time because of anxiety. Then I used to have, if you look at my posture, I'm able to keep my shoulders back and stand with relatively good posture. And I'm pretty fit and healthy right now. In the past, my back was all bent round like this. Why? Because of all the tension and how the muscles were all fired up in different parts of the back that was making me feel very fatigued and very in a bad shape. Then if I go down the body, I had a lot of lower back pain. That was a problem. Then I had lots of pins and needles in the leg, particularly in the left leg and left arm. I think I was having a heart attack or some kind of heart disease or a heart problem. Then I used to have cramp in my feet that used to cause a lot of problems. I was changing shoes all the time because of the tension in my feet, and it felt so bad and I thought there was a problem. And I was really worried about it, especially when I developed Raynaud's, which is a separate condition to anxiety, but was fueled and fired up by anxiety, making it worse. I used to have blood circulation problems in my feet. I used to then get an obsession about making sure you have the right socks, the right shoes, because of these things. They seem so over the top when you don't have this condition. But when you do have it, you understand understand exactly how it's operating and why it makes you feel like that. From even the kind of belt you've got on, how tight your trousers are when you're sitting down. Am I noticing that sensation in relation to somatic and sensory motor OCD? Am I going to be stuck on that sensation forever? Is it ever going to go? The same as the sensation of breathing, swallowing, and all of that stuff in the mouth and in the throat. Then the other things that I had was fitness. I was working out loads because I wanted to stay fit and try and fight off anxiety, but I was getting lots of injuries all the time. Why was I getting these injuries all the time? I was getting these injuries because I was constantly angry, trying to fight off anxiety. So I was overdoing like lots of cheat sets and stuff like that, leading to injury. Whereas in reality now, I'm working out purely for health, fitness and mind benefits, although I have no chronic anxiety and chronic guilt. So overall, I have very few injuries and niggles because most things are in balance. What you're trying to achieve is the body in balance. Day to day, I wear clothes like this so that I'm comfortable for meetings and I'm in a work mode when I'm at home, not just in sort of pajamas, which is a terrible way if you have to work a lot of the day from your home. I wear trainers a lot of the time because it's comfortable and because I walk a lot. I'm walking 10 to 20,000 steps every single day. And I'm going to the gym and doing weights 5 to 6 times a week. So I like to be in clothes that I can quickly change in and out of to go to the gym, work out and come back, right? And so when I think of those compared to in the past, very, very different. I was choosing things based on how anxiety was affecting clothes, physical symptoms and so on. So when you think today about physical anxiety, whatever the thing is, hospitals, doctors are full of people going in there 24/7 with physical anxiety symptoms, convinced that it's something real, it's something doing that. I used to have so many, I was in and out of the doctors all the time because I was convinced they were real, especially when you're thinking of problems like costochondritis, you're thinking of GERD, then causing LPR, where it's having acid reflux through the throat, causing breathing difficulties. Then some of the muscular tension, especially when it was round here, I thought it was problems with the kidneys, the liver, and all these kinds of problems. Anxiety will move in every area. I'm labeling some of the main few, but I had thousands of variations of these things. Cramps in hands, pins and needles in hands, pins and needles lasting for ages, so I was convinced this time it's different, this time it's the exception. That's what happens, okay? That's what happens on your journey, right? You will experience this. Right now, I've just been in the Middle East and I was doing face-to-face one-to-ones here. And I can tell you something, it is very hot, not like in the summer. But I'll tell you another thing. When I had anxiety so badly, I used to get like hyperhidrosis, where you'd get increased sweating, you'd feel like you're overheating, then you'd feel like you're freezing, heating on and off, you then thought you had a fever. If I had come to places like this during my chronic anxiety, I'd have avoided them first of all, because I would feel so ill from physical anxiety because it got to that extent, it got to that problem. And now I live life as usual. I can travel when I want, I can move around and do things when I want, and I'm not held back by the nervous system's overreaction. Think of it as the nervous system as just being hyperstimulated due to catastrophized thinking. You currently have catastrophized thinking that's firing up your nervous system 24/7. As you change that, you will go back to a base state of calm. Doesn't matter if it's 40 years, 30 years, whatever the symptoms. I had symptoms that I was so convinced were damaging my body and going to kill and could lead to my death. But they didn't. They didn't. They were all a flare-up caused by anxiety from a prolonged amount of time that led to me experiencing a range of physical symptoms that were ever changing. One day it was this, one day it was that, sometimes it was locked on one thing for a month, sometimes for years, a particular thing where I was convinced that this time it was different, this time it was wrong, especially with pains. Anywhere I associated a pain leading to a very bad outcome, I would have those pains coming on randomly and I'd be utterly convinced. I had to subtly think it, oh, what if I got a pain here in the chest or something like that? That would be terrible if I got a pain in the heart and then suddenly it'd be there more and then I'd think, oh no, then I'd read a symptom. Oh, if you get this, then it's a problem. Then I'd get that symptom. That's what it does. That's what the OCD recovery journey is like. It's very sneaky. And it will convince people that think they're really aware of it subtly. It's so subtle that even when you're in the advanced stages of recovery, you still easily become convinced that this time it's different. And that's OCD's main driver. So I thought I'd come on here and do this physical anxiety symptoms video in front of the mirror, because it gives you a good explanation of what you might be going through right now.